Hey there, Hunters, and welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today in Remnant 2, we're going to quickly go over all the injectables in Remnant 2, what they are and what they hold. I know most of the item information is already out there, but I want to have some video guides to help players find things, and so everyone new coming into Remnant, maybe in the future, have a place to locate missing items. If you're unaware of how the injectable systems work, basically every dungeon you enter besides a select few have exactly one injectable in them. An injectable is an addition to the dungeon that adds a little bit to its randomness and provides extra items. Each tile set has 3 randomized options for the injectable, and you can only roll an injectable once per generated biome. But with that out of the way, let's just dive in. Today we're going to start with the Yaesha Injectables. Yaesha has 3 different tile sets you need to look out for. The crypts, which are those corrupted underground areas, the floating isles, which are the sunny segments connected by a lot of root, and the ziggurats, which are the old temple tile sets. And we're going to start with the undertone tile set injectables. The first one is the open casket. You'll find this near the start or the end of the zone, and it'll be just kind of like an area with a casket in a little pit and a door nearby. You're gonna have to jump off the ledge here and land into the casket. Down here you can kill a bunch of little trash enemies and then go around the side of the stairs and pick up the Berserker Crest Ring, and then you can continue on, go up the ramp where you'll find Rot the Aberration. Killing him will grant you the Extender Mutator, and basically just open up the door and keep going. That's all for this injectable. Easy, right? The next injectable is called the Tomb Dweller, and this one's a little bit harder to find. What you need to look for is just like this single little casket in a room, and it's kind of easy to spot once you know what you're looking for, especially when you're checking your little mini-map. But here in this little room, there's an odd corner that's actually a hidden wall that you can pass through. And then through this area, you're going to have to do like this Indiana Jones thing where you need to dodge all these spikes and go through this water. And then just keep going, jump through the area, and then find the Tomb Dweller's Ring, as well as the Amulet of Flowing Life. When you get to the main area, you're going to go to the left and then up this ladder, and then you'll get the ring. And then if you go back and then to the right and wrap around, you can get the amulet that's in this other casket. Don't worry though, you can always get both. You can't ever like lock yourself out of one or the other. Just follow me here and then we'll get through this. The last Undertombs injectable is called the Living Stone. Typically found at the end of the zone, this is a set of statues that have crystals in their faces, and you can shoot these faces to open up the floor underneath and drop down. At the end of this spooky hallway, you can get the lithic signet from the chest. And now, as you make your way out of this area, you're going to be stalked by these weeping angel enemies that are only active when you aren't looking at them. They're scary, and take a minute to kill since you kind of have to like snap back to the face really fast to damage them, but if you manage to kill them, you will get a good amount of relic dust and fragments. And that's all the Ender Tombs injectables. So moving on from that, we're going to go to the floating island injectables now. The first injectable here is called Tower of the Sun. This injectable is kind of hard to spot at first as it just typically looks like more of the environment, but it's going to branch off to the side and you're going to have to do a lot of jumping and vaulting over little ledges, climbing up and around, and it's going to take a minute to get through. You just have to keep climbing up and up and up, and at the end of this climb, you're going to get to a chest which will open and you'll get the Talisman of the Sun amulet. And that's basically it. The second injectable for the floating island areas is the Bandits. This one is usually at the start of the zone or kind of like at the midway point. It's another section of ledges and rock formations that you really have to kind of like look out for because it looks just like the environment, but you can check your map and see that it like drops down a few levels. And so you're going to have to head over to these sunken ruin areas and drop down. And as you continue down the stairs, you're going to get ambushed by 2 aberration root gunners who will probably call an elite and some trash mobs as well, so be ready for a fight. Killing these 2 aberrations will grant you the Bandit Mutator, which is a great pickup, and after you're done with this fight, don't forget to round the corner and at the bottom here and pick up the Hardened Coil Ring. And that's all for this. The last injectable for the floating islands is the Hidden Tower. This one's pretty obvious despite the name I've given it. It's a large tower that you really can't miss. Going up the elevator will bring you to a chest which at the top contains the Slayer's Crest Ring. But we're not done here. You need to go back down to the elevator and then send it back up on its own, and if you start to back up, you're going to see that there are a lot of puzzle symbols at the elevator shaft. Make note of these symbols and specifically their order, then run back to the center wall between the stairs and pass through this hidden wall to come to the plinth. Use the symbols to solve the plinth puzzle and open the door to get to the Blooming Heart relic. The last set of injectables are the Ziggurat tile set, but oddly enough, of the 3 dungeons on Yaesha that have this tile set, only 1 actually can roll injectables. So really, these 3 are all found in Indira's End. Remember that you can only have 1 injectable spawn at a time, so you will need to get this place a lot. Anyway, the first injectable here is Wind Hollow. At the beginning of the zone, you're going to see a large opening to this big tower. This is a music puzzle. If you head over to the right side and drop down to the ledge, you can end up by the library, which will contain the book which has the notes that you need to play. I would take a screenshot of these pages and flip because there are 2. You can come back up the ledges and then go over here to learn the first song. This tower has the notes that you need to play in the middle of each of the openings, so you have to keep track of where everything is. And in order to solve this puzzle, you're going to need to step on the notes in the right order, which you can easily see if you're doing it right because the inside of the tower will spew like green lights when you step on the note, and it'll be black when you do the wrong note. I do believe this is also timed, so try to be quick about it. And so when you solve this puzzle, you're going to open up a little tower on the right hand side where you can go ahead and pick up the Wind Hollow Ring. Now you're not done here though, but the second part does require a co-op partner. You both will need to play the second song at the same time. The notes on the paper are double notes, so one person needs to take the top set and the other person needs to take the bottom set. Know your orders and step on the notes at the same-ish time, and then you'll see the green lights flicker, then quickly move to the next set. You have to do this relatively fast to get it. Once you have all your double notes, you will unlock the pillar on the left hand side and obtain the Ban. And that's it, now you're done with Wind Hollow. The next injectable in Indira's End is the Hidden Library. This one's pretty easy to find because the map kind of gives it away, but near the end of the area right before you get to the maze checkpoint, there'll be these little pockets in these corners by the statues and you can kind of see the sections on the map. And if you go to these corners, you can smash the pots and drop down the holes. And there are 2 areas here. One is kind of a bait and it'll take you back up and around just to grab a chest, nothing special, but the other hole in the corner will take you down to a library. This library you can run around, pick up a chest, and then grab the Burden of the Follower ring, very important ring. But before we leave, you need to head over to this invisible wall where an aberration awaits. You can go and kill that and then get the Bullet Weaver Mutator. Now you're all good. All done here. The last injectable in Indira's End is well hidden. This one is kind of hard to find, so you need to go to the area of the dungeon that kind of looks like this. It's like a big open square. And then from here, one of the walls, which appears super obvious when you know what you're looking for, will be a hidden wall that you can go through. But the trick is with that wall that you have to vault into it. If you're just like running forward, you're not going to go through it, which is kind of how they get you. Anyway, vault into this area and continue down, and there's going to be 2 elites down here that spawn. And then kill those and grab the chest at the end, which is going to award you with the Archer's Crest. And that's all the injectables in Yaesha. Remember to check out the other videos for other biomes, but thank you all for watching and good luck out there, hunters.